The Federation of University Teachers Associations, FUTA, have been hitting the streets and headlines in recent months. Since July 2011, they have resorted to trade union action over several key points, including the lack of interest by the government in working with the academic community on higher education policy matters, inadequate human and physical resources within the state university system, and high levels of politicization of the system. Speaking out on such issues has had an impact, but not in the desired manner. FUTA President Dr. Nirmal Ranjith Dewasiri has faced threats and intimidation for his active involvement in organizing trade union action among the university academic community. This incident has drawn concerned remarks from the academic community and beyond, as it is viewed as a blow to key universal rights, the right to dissent and the freedom of expression. On the 28th of June, a few days following the incident, activists for human rights convened a press conference with Dr. Dewasiri present to condemn the threats and intimidation he faced and to also highlight the larger issue relating to this incident.
So there were some anonymous individuals, especially the two young personnel visiting my neighborhood. And so they have, the gathered information about, especially my daughter, her, the schools and her whereabouts, how she go to school and so on. And also this, so they wanted to, so they have pretended that they want to get the number of my vehicle, and so this kind of information. And so they have come to my neighborhood twice, and the neighbors told me that so they were somewhat suspicious about them. Then so they have asked their identities, and so they have said that they are from the Ministry of Defence.
මේ ආකාරයේ තර්ජන වලින් ඒ තර්ජනයට ලක්වන පුද්ගලයා විතරක් නෙවෙයි, ඒ ඔහු නියෝජනය කරන පදාසයකට බරපතල සංඥාවක් ලබා දෙනවා. මෙවැනි අනුතුරු ඇඟීම් ආණ්ඩුව විසින් කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක රට පස්සේ ඒගොල්ලෝ නිහඬ නොවි වැඩ කටයුතු කරගෙන යන්නත් පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඒ සංඥාව විසින්, ඒ අනුතුරු ඇඟීම විසින්, ඒ බලපෑම විසින් තවත් විශාල සමාජයේ පදාසයකට පිරිසකට බරපතල අනුතුරු ඇඟීමක් සහ ඒ තුලින් ඔවුන් නිහඬ වීමක්, අනුගත වීමක්, බියවීමක් සිද්ධ වෙනවා.
මේක දිගින් දිගටම අපි දැක්කා. මේ විතරක් නෙවෙයි, අපි පෞගේ කාලේ මේක අපි දිගටම කියලා තියෙන මාධ්‍ය වේදීන්ට, මාධ්‍ය සංවිධාන වලට, මාධ්‍ය ආයතන වලට මේ විදියම දිගින් දිගටම චරපුරුෂයන් එහෙම නැත්නම් ආරක්ෂකන්ත නිලධාරීන් හඹාගෙන යන්න නැත්නම් පරීක්ෂා කරන්නට ඔවුන්ගේ නිවෙස් වලට ඇරියා. මේ පළමුණි ආයතන නෙමෙයි. යුද්ධය පැවති කාලේ විශේෂයෙන් කොටි ලේබලේ අලවලා මේ සමාජ ක්‍රියාකාරීන් කොටින්ගේ නියෝජිතයන් ඒජන්තයන් හැටියට හඳුන්වලා ඔවුන්ට මේ තත්ත්වය ඇති කරනකොට ජනතාව ඒ තරම් අවදියෙන් බැලුවේ නැහැ. ජනතාව නිර්වින්දනය කරලා තිබුණේ මේ යුද්ධය ඇතුලේ. ඒතර ඒ නිසා ඊට වඩා අද එළියට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. මුළු සමාජයටම අවදි වෙන්න ඕන කාලය ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා.
අධ්‍යාපන ක්ෂේත්‍රයේ අද බරපතල ප්‍රශ්න මතුවලා තියෙනවා. ආණ්ඩුවට උත්තර නැහැ. ආණ්ඩුවේ පෞද්ගලීකරණ ක්‍රියාවලිය අද අසාර්ථක වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒට එරෙහිව ආචාර්යවරුන්, ශිෂ්‍යයන් ඇතුළු අනෙකුත් සියලු බලවේග පෙළ ගැහිලා තියෙනවා. මේ තත්ත්වයට උත්තර නැතුව ගියාම ආණ්ඩුවට තියෙන මර්ධනය. ඒ මර්ධනය සඳහා ආණ්ඩුව කටයුතු කරනවා. ඒ එලෙස මර්ධනය සඳහා කටයුතු කිරීමම ආණ්ඩුවේ අවසානයේ බවට පත් කරවන්න අපි වග බලා ගත යුතු වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා එය මේ රටේ ජනතාව සතුව තිබෙන කාර්යභාරයක්. ඒ වගකීමට කාර්යභාරයට උර දෙන්න අපි මේ රටේ සියලුම ජනතාවන්ට ආරාධනා කරනවා.
මේ නිහඬ බහුතරයක් අද ඇති වෙලා තියෙන මේ සියල්ල ඉවසා සිටින මේ තර්ජනය අපිට එන්නේ නැහැ කියලා හිතලා, එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ විදේශ කුමන්ත්‍රණ, මේක යම් යම් රාජ්‍ය නොවන සංවිධාන වලට සම්බන්ධ අයගේ කුමන්ත්‍රණ වගේ කල්පනා කරලා නිහඬව ඉන්න විශාල බහුතරයක් නිර්මාණය වෙලා තියෙනවා. මෙන්න මේ බහුතරයට මේ පණිවිඩය අරගෙන යන්න ඕන.
The government has been blamed for suppressing dissent and not conducting proper investigations into the incident relating to the threats and intimidation levelled at Dr. Dewasiri.
The main incident that took place.
YTV spoke to Lakshman Hulugala, the Director General of the Media Centre for National
Mr.
Security,
Rivera, thank you for
to
taking
find
some
out the
time.
government's
I'm
response to
gonna
their
first start off by
concerns.
asking you, there's been some reports about attacks, threats and intimidation to civil society activists, and the most recent case that has been pointed out is the intimidation of Professor Nirmal Ranjith Dewasiri of FUTA. So this has again raised questions among civil society activists as to the space for dissent and the remaining space for dissent in Sri Lanka. So what is, in the government's point of view, what is your take on this matter, and what have you done with this particular case?
No, there is nothing that we can do, because now this has been there for some time earlier. On the recent incident about this Mr. Dewasiri talking about some people coming and inquiring about him from the neighbors, we got to know through the media when we saw it in the newspapers and from his press briefing. Because the Ministry of Defence is a responsible institution, I think the most responsible institution in the country. So if we have to question or if we have to find out whereabouts of anybody, we can officially do it, and nobody can refuse if we officially ask for any details that can be obtained. And also the ministry has the intelligence division. We have different type of intelligence services, so we don't have to go and tell somebody that we are looking for some information which we don't have to do. So this is something that the some interested people have been talking against the country, against the government, which earlier they were talking of the white vans. Now that was created by a certain media institution, and it went for a long time, and now they have stopped about the white van incidents. So now they are talking about this. So we don't have to, actually we are not seriously taking it, because we have nothing to do with that.
Because if specific complaints are made with the police, and if the judicial process, if the assistance of the judicial process is sought, will action be taken against the people?
On an incident like that, if they have enough evidence, what they should do is they should first make a complaint. Because by speaking to the media or by speaking to something else is not going to make any justice to that person. So he should make a complaint. So, but he will always say, when you talk about the defense ministry, he has no trust on the police or something. But any citizen of this country, if there is any sort of threat from incident like this, first they should make a complaint and give the details so that police can make an inquiry. And we have done it. We have, when there were people like complaining about ransom collecting, various other threats, we have done inquiries and we have taken them to the judicial process. So, but on an incident like this is purely for publicity's sake. When they are in some sort of action, they want to get more publicity and more prominence. So that is why they say it is coming from the defense ministry, it is coming from somewhere else. But I don't think that there is any truth in it.
Okay, so in certain segments of civil society, when they are pointing out concerns with regard to government policy and also critiquing certain government policies, do you think they have the freedom to dissent and critique about that without facing repercussions?
Of course, I say with responsibility there is enough freedom. Now you see, you take the daily papers, you take the weekend papers, there are so many criticism. Now there was a time during 1980s, when especially when Mr. Premadasa was president of this country, there was no freedom of speech or media or anything. The people were killed because the people who took photographs on his family and all those people were missing. There were so many allegations. Today the Rajapaksa family is being criticized openly, but nobody is being killed. So the freedom of media, freedom of speech, freedom of expression to any public has come out openly. But then of course the other hand, government also should have the right to reply. By just because we reply, that is not suppress of freedom of speech. But when you make an allegation, when some people make allegations against the defense ministry, I have to talk about that subject and I have to defend the government. Like that, every person, whether they are pro or anti, they have the right. So that right is today, there is enough freedom, and we have not gone behind any personally, and those people are given the freedom. I feel when you take after the independence, if you take after the independence, this is the time that everybody is, especially after LTT crush, there is enough freedom to.
Okay. The right to dissent is a universally accepted democratic freedom, and so is the freedom of expression. In terms of upholding his right within Sri Lanka, what would be the steps, or how would you think the government would work towards upholding this right?
Well, government, as I told you earlier, government is prepared. Government is giving, because this is a government which has a coalition. The coalition has everybody. In this government there is Sinhala, Tamil, Muslims, everybody is represented. Then the Buddhist, Catholics and Muslims, everybody is represented. So I don't think that anybody's right is being taken away. So government is always, the president has instructed, and government is prepared to lace with everybody and work out it. So the question that you asked, the people who are involved has the right, and they should work with the government.
Okay.